Hello ladies, and welcome back to my channel. For anyone who's new, my name is Olivia, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff and doing some fun wrapping. So this one might be a wee bit of a long video. So okay, for first things first, this one is a bit late today. I was planning on having it filmed and up on my channel before noon. Didn't happen because yay, we caught Tomas. And for those who haven't been following, Tomas is one of the cats that we've been feeding all summer. He is an outside stray cat that we've slowly been working to trust us. Well, we decided that it was time that we just catch him. It's time. So we put out the cat trap, not one of the crochet ones. That doesn't exactly work with outside cats, only inside cats. We put out one of the traps and we caught him this morning. I was totally not expecting to find him in the trap this morning. I thought it would take a few days to get him. So as soon as we can, we're getting him to the vet, and we're gonna make sure he has all his shots, make sure he's, I say we don't know at this point if Tomas is Tomas or Tomasina, because we don't know if boy or girl, we don't know. So Alyssa just named him Tomas and we just assumed male. But hopefully there's a clinic, a Barks clinic this weekend on Saturday. Hopefully we'll get him down there and taken care of, make sure he's nice and healthy. I did notice his eye is a little oozy. So the boys have had that before, and that's it wasn't a horrible thing, but getting it checked out is always important. At this point, he's not trusting me enough to allow me to wash his eye out, which would be ideal. It's what I do for the boys when their eyes get weird, is I just wash it out with warm water and we move on. We also steam them. That sounds horrible, but we put them in the bathroom with us when we're showering, and the steam helps with that too. So that's what we do for them. But with Tomas, he's not ready for that yet. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will check out with him and we can start to get him ready for being Alyssa's friend. So, okay, now another thing, you notice back here, I've got my mannequin me. She's dressed today. I decided that I wanted some petticoats. I haven't made a petticoat in a really long time, and I'm not talking about the crazy the net ones, the really itchy ones. I just wanted a cotton petticoat for under my skirts. So that's what I made. I made this last night. And I have a boatload of just random small bits of material. This bit was left over from my father-in-law's quilt. While quilting is kind of fun for me and I'm currently making Derek a quilt, it's not something that I plan on doing a lot of. It takes me forever because I do hand piece and I do hand quilt, and it just, if I get 2 quilts done in my lifetime, it'll be a miracle, because they do take me forever to finish. But I worked on this last night and I thought the fabric was fun, and the hem is different than this flounce, and then so I was kind of a thing I was doing last night. Also, I get a few questions about my low bun caps. I'm going to talk about really quick. I have a list of things I need to get out of the way, and then it's fun with wrapping. So so the low bun caps, the ones I originally made, all have the dangly bits in it. This is, I'm going to say this came out in the second batch of this color, and this one came out in the second batch because it was before I decided that these beads here were really heavy and too big to have on the back. One of the questions is what happens to the beads when I wrap. Well, when I wrap with the scarf, the scarf just covers these up gently, and they're just covered up. Either a light scarf will show them through a bit, sort of like a veil. But otherwise they're just held inside, cupped gently by the scarf. Now, another question was whether they're fragile. Now, these are pretty sturdy. This is, again, I made this first and second batch 3 years ago, I want to say. It's hard. This year has been really bad for my memory and time. Everything just seems to blend together. So it's, I'm going to say 2-3 years ago were the first batches I made of these. This particular one has been worn quite a lot, and it's still in perfect shape. Now, I will say, and it's the same thing with any kind of beading or any kind of jewelry, you don't want to go yanking and being really rough with them. You know, you can pull on them a little bit gently, because sometimes the beads up here get a little, they move a little bit. So you just adjust it a little bit, just a little. But to yank or pull, I would say no. I've not had any issues with the beads getting caught on my scarves or on or snagging a scarf. And I have some of them that are cut glass beads. I have one of those. I should have pulled it out, but I have not had any of that happen. I'm trying to think. I do make these because I didn't think, when I first started making these, I was really super excited to make them with the beads, because my original one had beads on it, and it was kind of meant to be I can wear it with or without a scarf over top. I believe the original styling was a Shayla style of head wrap. So it was and the scarf that it came with was very, very light, and gossamer is a nice word for it. So you could see the beads through it, and it was just very, very elegant. But also, when you take off this, when I took off the scarf, it was something that was very attractive too. So I didn't have to wear the scarf all the time. I could just put this on my head and be beautiful as well. Now, the changes I made to it when I made these caps for myself, I changed the inner lining here. It's a cotton, and you can't see it because I do a good job trimming it, but it's a cotton band on the inside, because I sweat. I know other people sweat. You want to call it glowing, whatever it is. It happens. And I think that absorbs that, and it doesn't, you don't have it running down your face. It absorbs it, but it also gives a bit of durability to this stretch velvet. It keeps the velvet from stretching out of shape really quickly. I hope that makes sense. So it's a bit of a stabilizer. It's a sweatband built in, and yeah. So that's why it's a little poofy at the front, because I get that. Why is that poofy? It is because it has the stabilizer in it. I do a doubled piece, so that has a nice rounded look instead of being a more abrupt boxy look in the front. The original caps had a foam in here, and that over time discolored, and it showed through on the lighter scarves, lighter caps. My goodness, I keep saying scarves. But lighter caps, it showed through, and it was not an attractive look. So I thought with this cotton, at least it wouldn't discolor the same way as the foam. And you could wash that a little bit better than a foam inner lining. Now, also a thing that, trying to think, look at my paper here. Washing, I wash mine by hand. The ones that have no beading on them, those can be washed in one of those lingerie sachets, and on gentle or hand wash cycle. But for these guys, I hand wash these very gently. Woolite works really good, or any other mild soap. You can use that. Also, just hanging them outside for a little while works really well in a nice sunshiny area. Don't leave them out there for days and days, but just for a couple of hours in the sunshine also helps to refresh them. But I think because it does have this stabilizer in here, unlike my shapers, it doesn't stretch out as much and as quickly, so it doesn't need to be shrunk back in. So that's another thing. Okay, so I talked about that one. Talked about the washing. I think that one's it for the caps. If you have more questions about the caps, just ask below. I love to talk about them because I just love them. I do adore them. Okay, put that over on the chaise. The next question, about the way I fold square scarves. Now, I do fold square scarves on occasion the traditional way, with the 2 triangles, but a long time ago, it seems like forever ago that I started wrapping, but there was a time when I was starting to really have fun with wrapping square scarves, and someone mentioned to me, well, I don't buy square scarves because they're very limited in how you can use them. And some of the square scarves have beautiful, beautiful patterns like this one here, or they're really, really awesome with the shimmeries, and they're light cotton, and we want to use them and we want to have them, but if you only tie them with the triangles, you are sort of limited to the number of styles. Now, I'm not saying that I know everything about the square scarf and every single square scarf tie that you can make, but from the experience that I've had with wrapping, just tying the triangles, you're kind of limited. You can do a low bun wrap, that's great. You can do a traditional tie underneath or a tie in the front. You can do a Turkish style. There are a number of wraps, but it's sort of limiting. Now, this is a double square scarf. I found that if I folded my scarves, so I'll open this guy up because he's handy. If I folded my scarves like this, and when I place them on my head, I could bring it around and make it more like a rectangular scarf, so that it just gave me even more options of using the square scarves. Sometimes, like with this scarf here, there's a motif that I want to have front and center, like I wore yesterday with this big beautiful green flower right here. Well, the pattern is limited with the number of these beautiful flowers on it, so I have to figure out a way to get that placement, because you get that flower and place it the way I want and still be able to wrap the wrap. So I'm kind of looking at what wrap I want to do and how I can get the motif in the place that I want and still have a pretty wrap. So that's one of the reasons that I wrap the squares in the really odd ways that I do, because I want more versatility in my scarves. And sometimes all right, I'm gonna get this out, and I'm gonna get it out all at once. One comment I get sometimes is, well, why don't you just buy that in a rectangle scarf? And unfortunately, not all these beautiful scarves come rectangular. And sometimes I don't want to have the extra bulk of having a rectangular scarf. I just want a quick, light wrap. So that's another reason. Also, this two-tone kind of thing is harder unless you have a two-tone split scarf, rectangular scarf. It's harder to do and get as light. This weighs nothing, as with a regular standard rectangular scarf. So I don't know, and that's just my opinion. When I say these things, these are my opinion. I'm not saying that I'm right. Other people have different experiences, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but when I'm talking about this stuff, this is just from my experiences in wrapping. Okay, so the benefits of that, or the benefits of folding it the weird ways that I do, is that I get more versatility. I can make a regal wrap without the little tiny tails to bring up and stuff. It just gives it a smoother wrap. I can make big bows and do fascinator styles. It's all just with versatility. And for me, it's just a challenge because I was told, well, there's only this number of scarves, or this number of ways you can wrap a square scarf. And I don't know, I like a challenge. It's part of my personality. I like to be challenged. So there's that one. All right. Now, I had an idea yesterday with the super crazy fancy schmancy wrap with this Sweep of Sunshine scarf. I'm going to be getting to it. I will wrap this one too. And I'm going to see. Okay, I did that. Now, also pink. This is something that nobody asked me this week, but there are lots of pinks. So when I was talking about picking a pink to go with this green scarf, I grabbed a mulberry scarf, and I was like, ooh, that's dark. And then I grabbed this really, really crazy bright pink scarf. And then I grabbed this pink scarf. And then there's, excuse me, my goodness, let me get a real quick sip of water. And then I've got these shades of pink. Every time I grabbed a pink scarf, the scarf here looked different. It picked out different colors. So I thought it was like, pink is not just pink kind of thing. That was something that is interesting about colors. Some of them look really good, and some of them were like, yeah, no, because they were just off. They were just a few shades off from looking nice. Like, I like the way this pink pairs with this color here. It's very dusty. It's a very elegant look. I also pulled out the berry. You can see how the berry would look with this. This is a tough 2-in-1 in berry, and this is a 2-in-1 in light pink. And you can see the difference between these two pinks. This one's dustier, this one's a little bit clearer. So people in the past have asked me about colors and how I choose colors, and it's something that I just do. I grab the scarves and I put them next to each other, and I can kind of get a feel for it. There are courses on color theory, videos on color theory and why certain colors go good together. But that's just one of those things that I see it, and I don't always know how to explain it, because it's just something that's comes naturally to me. It's an innate ability, just to grab and say, oh yes, those two. So I apologize if I don't always explain that to you when I'm grabbing a pink scarf. So, okay, now that I've chatted a whole bunch about other stuff, let's get wrapping. Okay, so for this guy here, this guy is rather fun. I have put on my base scarf, and I'm going to leave it on, and I'll just show you how I put the base scarf on. I did the fold over like so. Did this weird fold over, grab the point, and then it comes down like so. I'm going to put this on my head like this. I just want enough of this point to come around the back and be able to just tuck, bring this whole, gather all of this, bring it around. And this, when I pull this around, this will hold everything in place. So this here is what is being done with this guy here. Okay. Now for my friend here, oh my goodness, the Sweep of Sunshine scarf, I have just grabbed I folded it the same way, but in the opposite direction so that the point is over here, because I want the long tail to come out over my opposite shoulder from here. Okay, so, and I've just, because this one is a little bit smaller than this one, I have just put it, as you can see, there's a pin here holding this triangle in place. Okay, now it's not going to be a big deal because it's going to get covered up with this tail. Now what I did here for this side is I'm folding in. I want to get all the short bits inside so that I have a nice long piece. Let's shift this way. Nice long piece to pull up. And I want to do the same thing on this side. Now this is a little bit fun. It's a little different because this scarf is so much lighter than this scarf. This scarf has quite a bit of body to it. I ended up doing this wrap with this scarf because I liked the color. And it's with scarf choice, sometimes I have to choose the color and say ooh to the texture, because this one is really heavy compared to this one, and there's a compromise to it because this color here is a bit brighter. It's more the texture I want. It's not exact, but it's not as, you can see it's very much lighter. It's not exactly the same as lightness as this one, but I like the color of this one better. I hope I stated that correctly and clearly sometimes. But I've now got these folded in on each, folded in. All right, now I'm going to take this guy here. I'm going to bring it up. If I brought it up correctly, it won't be all bulky and weird in the back. And then I'm going to grab this one here. I'm going to try not to bundle it up too much. Okay, now I want to tie a knot so that this piece, green piece, comes out the front. Now I can just pull it this way and have the bow here. Instead of being doing all convoluted, pull it through and then tuck it back in. It's a little overthinking things there. So I'm just pulling this open here. Okay, where are you? All right, it's gonna take me a second to pull him all the way out. I like to open the bows up all the way. If you leave it in, you can have a little more body to, leave it folded in some, you have a little more body to your bow. I just rather sacrifice a little bit on size, have it a little bit smaller than sacrifice the ruffle here. All right, now this piece is looking a little wonky, so I will stuff him back in, just like so. And it does take a little bit of primping and fussing to get the front bow to be, I don't know, just the way I like it and the right size. Okay, just like so. And then I'm going to take this piece in the back. And this is a favorite kind of bow style for me. I have to give my arms a second. They're kind of tired. Do the tuck in up here. Okay. I was wondering what I forgot. All right, so I'm going to open this up just a little bit. You, my friend, come this direction. I'm going to take it, just kind of open it up a little bit, flip it over because that's the way it wants to go. And I'm going to fold it one piece needs to go under. Okay. All right, I'm going to fold it and I'm going to stop sitting crisscross applesauce in the chair because that's bad for my knees and it's bad for my ankles. Okay. And I'm going to tuck in gently here, just enough to hold the bow in place, this back piece of the bow. And then I'm going to play with this one as well to get it all frilled out. And again, if it's something weird like this at the end, I'm just going to tuck it in, so that's fine. Do the same thing all the way up. And this bow looks much prettier than the first bow. Oh my goodness, okay. So what I'm doing now is taking this piece and I'm going to just try to bring it down flat and tuck it in where I can in the back. So I can tuck it in wherever, but okay, that can tuck right there. It's not actually under my shaper, it's just between the scarf and the shaper, which is really good. Now this piece, I am going to bring down and around and find that pocket and tuck it in. So this is a really fun, fancy bow style with the 2 square scarves. I kind of, again, it's one of the favorites that I have with the 2 squares. I think I have a video, I'll have to find it and put a link, for this with a blue and it's I think it's a blue and it's like a camel color scarf. It's like this. It's really fun and pretty. All right, so I'm gonna take this one apart, and then also with this one, I can still do it with this scarf, but I can do a really beautiful rose, like a fascinator style rose. Okay, bring this up. Again, we're going to have the green come out the front. I was right the first time. Okay, so I'm going to move this one up just a little bit. Okay. Now, when I do a free style or this kind of wrap with a rose, the rose turns out different every single time. It's one of the hardest things to do to get the roses to wrap really close, because it's just it's a free form style. It's not like a beginner's lock where you bring the scarf over, you tie the knot, and it is what it is. You can do that pretty much every single time. You can get the scarf at the same point, but with this kind of free form and like the floofs that are here, the folds and the ruffles and everything turn out different each time. So it's organic and it's fun. So it's just one of those. Running out of battery, sorry. It's just one of those things. Now I'm going to see this time how the rose is going to look. I did this earlier and the rose came out really beautiful, but I chased a cat and it fell off. So, all right, what I'm going to do is a couple of different ways to do this. I can start the rose like this. So I just get the scarf open and pleated, randomly pleated, and just start with a kind of a twist. I can twist it this way. I think I'll twist it this way. As you can see, the little, start like this. This gives you more of a spiral in the center, like this. It's more compact. Of course, pins, straight pins are your friend for this style of wrap. these guys here. I do recommend the ones with the big bulbous heads on them because you can find them easier in oddball spots where you might not be able to see, but you can feel. Okay. Now also, so we have that particular one, and then we can take this short end and just gather up a little bit. Do a little piece here, and then gather slowly around like this. And this gives you a bigger sort of rose, and you can play and fuss with that. I think I'm going to leave that right now, and because I really like the volume of the extra, and I try to hide the pins when I'm doing this, and I try not to stab myself in the head. So you can get a side view of this guy here. Now this looks really, really excellent with the shimmery type, I say shimmery, it's not a shimmery scarf. It looks really good with these Israelis that have the lurex in them, sterling, and this is the golden Israeli. And I'm thinking, is there another one? And the, oh my goodness. I just had my brain drained. But there's another Israeli that has really, really fine stripes in it. And I have it back there on the shelf. I have it in red. But that also makes for a really elegant looking rose. These ones with the larger stripes are great, but I find that I just like the shimmeriness of these kinds. Okay, so one more back here just to hold it in place. And then we have this gorgeous scarf here. I'm going to make this one the outside. So I'm just opening it up, scrunching up like so. I can roll it like this. And I can adjust it so that this piece actually lays out like a little leaf, and that's kind of fun. So I bring this around here. It doesn't need to be so flat. We do this here. Again, I can leave this out, just stick the pin here, and I will show you a side view of this. Okay, so that looks like a little bit of a leaf. And then we have the one back here coming around. And he'll just get tucked in here. A pin is always welcome there, but for today, the fewer pins I do, the less I have to take out for the video. Now this piece here, when I do it in when I'm running around with running errands and doing all that stuff, I will, when making that inner spiral, get the words out, I will stick a pin down in that, because that keeps that inner spiral from undoing. So you can see right here. But this is the crazy awesome, huge, ginormous, fun rose. And I enjoy these because I love hats and I love fascinators. You can see my fun fascinator there. So that's kind of a cool thing. All right, let's gently take out all of these pins. Let's find all the pins and drop them back in the drawer. Okay. All All right, now I'm going to switch up the scarves just a little bit to show with the fancy schmancy other pink scarf. I've got 6 pink scarves on my desk. Okay. All right. All right, I got them all out this time. Whew. All right, now I'm going to take this off. All right. Fold this up really quick. Makes for easier cleanup when I fold them as I go along. I'm more likely to actually put them back on the shelf and not drop them on the floor or the chaise or anything else. All right. Also, I have got to switch this camera to show you what cuteness that I have next to me really quick. Okay, not this. This is what I'm, this is what I'm sitting next to. These 2 dudes are just beyond adorable. Oh my goodness. The best thing I did was bring up the chaise for them, because now they love to hang out with me, and now they can totally be comfortable and do their own little thing over there. It's so cute. Okay. All right, that guy is there. All right, so before I go to the shimmery scarf, real quick with this one, I'll do a standard kind of triangle. It's not going to be equal triangles because the scarf is kind of smaller. It's big, but it's not as big as some of the other ones that I have. I have some 55-inch squares. So those are, by the way, those are tablecloths. Those are ginormous. So I'm folding like this here. I'm going to place it on my head so that the tie is up front, like this. Okay. I'm just bringing around. I'm going to tie right here. In a perfect world, this is nice and even, Steven. Okay, so I have this. Now, say you want to do a bow wrap, but you don't want to do that big, huge, crazy bow that I just did. You just want to do a simple one scarf bow. What I did, I have this tied. I'm going to open this up. Taking these guys. Okay, like this. I'm going to tuck in right here just a little bit and bring it back. So you have like this, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay. The more body your scarf has at this point, the better your bows are going to be, but this one will work. I'm going to take this guy here. I'm going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And I'm going to bring it back. Like so. And then I'm just going to be tucking in that, okay? And we can always bring this forward some. So, and then open these guys up. So you get some flounces. Again, the more body your scarf has, the more body the more your bows will, the bow will stick out and just be. But this is kind of cool. I didn't pull out all of the scarf, so it's sort of folded in on itself to give it more volume and body. This guy gets tucked back in just a little bit. Pulled him out a little too far. Okay, so you get that bow right at the front. It's cute. and you can fold it in a more of a traditional way. Now, if you wanted this to be a little bit smaller, you just fold it more. I'm used to wrapping this style with my Wendy, so I gave myself extra. I'm using the Cloud 9 today, so it's a bit smaller than my Wendy, but okay. And easy peasy removal. All right. Now, I think this one will be my last wrap. My battery is running low and we're already at the 40-minute mark, so it's just a lot. But this was, I had in my mind a really, really cool, fun, fluffy, floofy confection. So let's see if I can get that from in here to out here. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes the inside does not come to the outside. But let's see. All right, this is the pink. Oh my goodness. It's a nice pink. And you are the Shiny-licious. All right, I tied it so that we have a longer side, but not super long, not super much longer. Okay, and I am going to tie this one in the back. Okay, this is a really, really bright, like flamingo pink. Okay, now for this, I did think that I was just going to sash it, because this scarf is very, very, it's not dense, but it's not see-through, so I thought this showing in the back would be perfectly fine, but I thought that this would be really good. Let's see. And then tuck this guy back here into the knot. Okay. Nice long end on this side. Okay. Gotta pull this out the back. All right, now what I'm thinking is I might have put that on wrong and I may have to redo that. Not sure. Okay. I'm just going to take this up. Tie the knot, and I'm just going to tuck this away. But you know what? I'm going to change this. I'm changing it. I had a different idea, one that I think I will like much better. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to tie this for a second just to hold it in place, because I'm going to do a Marrakesh. I'm going to do a double Marrakesh. I think that's going to be the awesomeness of my wrap today. Okay, finding that tag. Whew. All right. Folding in, folding in. All right, so I want to leave, I do want a piece to be sticking over when I do this. So I'm going to bring this around. Okay, I can make it longer. That's fine. Okay, all right. Oh, you know, okay. All right, so I have this guy here. We do the first Marrakesh. Okay, now this piece, I want this piece to come over here. This piece I want to bring around and get it out of my face. Okay. But I do want to keep these fringes out and really, really prominent. Okay. Okay. Now with this, all right, my friend. Trying to overcomplicate things with placement. All right, you, my friend, are going to stop fussing at me and get folded. Okay. Go. All right, I'm not retying this. The tag is just going to have to stick out for now. I will remove it the next time I wrap with my friend. Okay, so. I'm taking my fingers, there's the knot from the first Marrakesh. I'm taking my finger and I'm reaching down and I'm going to hook it around. I'm going to grab this guy up and I'm going to pull it. Right, let me make this super huge. Oh my goodness, I love the Marrakesh so much. I did a Marrakesh challenge a ways back. This is just super, super fun. I have another video that I did for Game of Thrones, As High as Honor. I did, because I was obsessed with Game of Thrones, completely obsessed with the TV show. I do love the books too, but they're completely different entities. But I did for the series finale, I did a whole group of looks based on each house, and one of the houses, House Aaron, I did a wrap that called As High as Honor. That is their house words. So I did that with a double Marrakesh. And that was a fun look. Now this one is too long. I'm going to bring it back around. Pull this guy out here. Oops. Okay. I'm going to pull him up just a little bit more too. Okay, I'm going to take this guy here. I'm going to get him as flat as possible, and I'm going to bring it back around underneath, and yay, the tag will not stick out. Yes, that's a win. Okay, and this piece, because I don't want it in my eyeballs, I'm going to take and tuck under here just a little bit so that it hangs out underneath of the pink. And again, this is cool. You get the pink, you get the green, and depending on how much I frill this out, some of the pink here and the burgundy / wine. So there we go. And there we go. Like so. Okay, so. All right, so I'm really thinking I like this. I'm thinking this is the wrap for today because it's super, super pretty and super fun. All right, I hope you ladies enjoyed the tutorial. I hope I've answered any questions you may have about the low bun cap and my crazy way of folding the triangles, crazy way of folding the square scarves. And I hope you like this final look. I will see you in the next tutorial. Have a wonderful day.